Welcome back to the Design, Creativity and Technology channel. My name's Aaron. So I've got a couple of parts come into the shop today, and these are from my buddy Greg's full-size robot. I believe it's a R2-D2 from the movie Star Wars, and these are some motor brackets that will help him put in a brand new motor with an encoder so he can keep track of R2, where it's going, where he's driving it. So they're not very big parts, but they're just 2D parts, to be honest with you, but they're quite challenging to hold, as you would know. Now, this one would be easy to do by doing 2 ops and decking off, but the material I was supplied here was already to height, so I'm not going to be worrying about that. So let's look at this first bracket here, okay, called dome motor bracket. So the strategy I'll be using today to machine this will obviously dropping in there with a boring cycle to bore out that top hole here. Then I'll pop over to the slots and I'll spiral into those. And as it'll start to slot, you'll see that it will ramp down continuously till it's all the way through. And the same over here on the other side. Contour cleanup. Okay, so let's go over to the mill now and have a look at this one working, cutting out. Now here's the second bracket that Greg wants me to machine out for him. It's a little bit more challenging. As you can see, there's no real straight sides to it. So the only way to hold that if you were going to buzz the hat off it would be to make soft jaws. As I said, the material I've got here is already to size. It's at 8mm, so that leaves that strategy out. That's not an option, so I have to do the old fashion of prep it all up on the internal sections and then bolt it down to a fixture plate to do it. So let's have a look at the cam here. So I'm just going to pop in here with a spot drill and spot drill all those holes. You'll notice I'm going slightly deeper just to take out that sharp edge of the drill. You can see the little green section there. You'll notice here that I've got drill tip through bottom and a couple of millimeters below the bottom. Coming over here now, we're going to bore out that hole again. Over this side, this is with a 8mm end mill. Pop in here, do some 2D adaptive clearing to clear up this pocket section in here. And you'll see that I went up to the big side over here as well and machined that out. And left some meat on the walls. Now, popping in with a 6mm mill to do some rest machining and then contour clean up on all these surfaces. You'll notice that I'm doing a spring pass just to take that bore out to size. And now a little contour end mill just to take out that slot there, okay? And just with some tangential extension just to go a little bit further, just to make sure I clear everything. All right, let's jump on over to the SYIL and prepare this part. so here's my fixture plate that I'm going to be using today. And this was just a bit of scrap that I had laying in the shop. You'll notice here that I've drilled a numerous set of holes and tapped them. And I did that for a reason, because I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the same fixture plate for both parts. All right. And the good thing about doing it this way is that you'll notice here that my G54, my origin, is set up to the center of this fixture plate. So, and I'll keep that same origin for all the parts. So once I set the origin up for this plate, I don't have to touch it. I can just drop in my parts and machine the next one, etc. Now this one here is just very simple drilling. And off camera, I popped in and tapped that. I actually drilled it a bit larger. I couldn't be bothered changing the drill out in the mill, and I just went through it with a, just took it up a notch and then hand tapped it. I'll turn on the body here, and you'll see this is the second op where I clamp down. Now, when you're fixturing like this, you have to be mindful that if you're using cap head bolts or something to hold it down, you have to be very mindful of your clearance heights here. You'll notice here that I've stepped it right up high, okay, just so I don't hit those cap head bolts. Now, the reason I'm getting an error here is because it's warning me that I'm actually crashing into the stock. Now, the stock it's seeing is actually the fixture plate, and you'll notice here that I'm negative 0.1 down. Okay, so that's why it's having a little bit of a hissy fit and saying, hey, look, mate, you're cutting 1 mil lower, and it is doing that. But I don't care, because that's sacrificial, so I don't really care about that. All right, spring pass cleanup. And if I just hover there, you can see here that if I come over to my information display here, and we can see that retract height right there, I can touch that. Fusion actually tells me that I'm 14 millimeters above that fixture plate. So, and I did that, I controlled that by popping into my heights tab and adding 10 here, okay, which lifted it up because it's coming off this fixture plate, all right? Last but not least is this plate here, and we can simulate that now and just show you what that looks like. And just some 2D adaptive clearing on the outside. And then pop around and do that spring pass. And once again, getting that error, the tool is going 0.5 below the bottom surface, the bottom edge. So that's all right. The cam's doing what it's supposed to be doing and warning me. And there we have it here. And you can also see here, I've got those heights up really high. And you can see I'm up 23 mil here because I had to make some plugs to hold this down. As you can see here, these bores, I had to make a plug that went inside this bore and a plug that went inside this bore with a bolt hole down through. And this is the beauty about modelling everything. You can actually, it makes it so much faster to do stuff, especially if you use your CAD design. And if I pop in here and just turn these two off, you can actually see where I've project included those features, and you can see the project include here, which gave me all those parametric features that I could pick up on, which means I could find the center of these holes rather quickly. It didn't take long at all. Alrighty, so let's pop back over to the machine and machine these out. Well, that concludes today's video. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you picked something out of it. Hopefully Greg will be happy with these parts, and his little R2-D2 robot will be up and running in no time. Good on you. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next DCT video. Cheers. Bye-bye.